In 2004, in a remote area of Ellesmere Island in Nunavut, Canada, a group of paleontologists discovered a fossil that changed the way we understand evolution. The fossil was named Tiktaalik, a creature that lived about 375 million years ago during the Devonian period. Researchers saw that Tiktaalik was no ordinary fish, but a transitional form that showed the change from life in water to life on land. This discovery is key to understanding the evolution of vertebrates, especially tetrapods. This fossil reveals how ancient creatures adapted to slowly live on land, providing deep insight into the origins of land animals. What is the significance of the Tiktaalik discovery? And what was life like for these ancient animals? More than 300 million years ago is a very, very long time scale. This period of time marks the beginning of the transition of animals to land. One of the most important finds from this period and additional evidence for the beginning of tetrapods, Tiktaalik, is a genus of ancient fish from the Devon period that has similar features to early amphibians. Tiktaalik is very important in the study of evolution. It is considered to be a transitional fossil that shows changes from two different habitats, reflecting a fusion between the two. The discovery stems from years of grueling expeditions. Beginning in 1999, researchers conducted expeditions in the Arctic Islands region of Canada to look for evidence of the evolution of tetrapods from lobe-finned fish that lived in the Devon period. It wasn't until 2004, the last year of the expedition, that they finally found what they were looking for, after several years of research with little success and faced with extreme conditions in the Arctic region and high costs. After one of the crew members of the expedition team discovered the snout of a flat-headed V-shaped animal. Attached to a cliff wall on an island called Ellesmere Island, it was initially thought to be a fossilized lungfish. Soon after, a series of specimens were found, of which 3 were quite complete, consisting of a skull, shoulder girdle, and fins. All these specimens were found to represent the same species, which was later named Tiktaalik rosii. The genus name, Tiktaalik, is derived from the Inuktitut language, a traditional language spoken in the region where the fossils were found, which refers to a large freshwater fish seen in shallow waters. The species name, rosii, was given in honor of an anonymous donor from Devon paleontology. 2 years later, 3 researchers involved in this expedition, namely Ted Deichler from the Philadelphia Academy of Natural Science, then Neil Shubin from the University of Chicago, and Farish Jenkins Jr. from Harvard University, described the findings in 2006. The Tiktaalik discovery became one of the most important findings in science, especially paleontology and biology. How is Tiktaalik considered the missing link? Tetrapods are a group of animals that includes all amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. The evolution of tetrapods began around 400 million years ago, in the Devon period, with the earliest tetrapods evolving from lobe-finned fish. This transition lasted for about 80 years, a very long period of time, to finally produce vertebrates that lived entirely on land. Apart from Tiktaalik, fossils of several intermediate animals between fish and tetrapods have actually been found several times, but some are still very fish-like, and some are very tetrapod-like. Until finally, Tiktaalik was found in the middle. The discovery of Tiktaalik fills the gap in the fossil record between fish and tetrapods. Before Tiktaalik, the fossils found tended to be more similar to one of the groups, either fish or tetrapods. So, if they are like a bridge between the two, where does Tiktaalik fit in taxonomy? Tiktaalik is classified into the Sarcopterygi clade, which contains a variety of lobe-finned fishes and tetrapods. This class also contains transitional animals between fish and tetrapods other than Tiktaalik, such as Eusthenopteron, Panderichthys, Acanthostega, and Ichthyostega. Meanwhile, the fish from this clade that still survive today are the lungfish that live in freshwater, and the coelacanth fish that live near the Comoros Islands and in the Indonesian Sea. Now, let's take a look at how Tiktaalik exhibits its unique key physical traits. One of the most prominent features of the Tiktaalik is its muscular fins. Unlike other fish that have soft and thin fins, the Tiktaalik's fins are more robust and thickly structured. These fins have helped contextualize the origin of the toes and limbs that serve to support the body. The fins have a strong tetrapod-like internal skeleton surrounded by a network of simple bony fins. These fins allow the Tiktaalik to support its body in shallow water or even on muddy land. The inner structure of these fins contains bones similar to the humerus, radius, and ulna bones in tetrapods, suggesting adaptation towards leg-like use. These are the structural differences in fish fins and Tiktaalik fins. It can be seen how the Tiktaalik differs from most fish today. The Tiktaalik's head is also worth noting. The head is flat with eyes located at the top, similar to modern crocodiles, instead of being located on the side like most fish. This suggests an adaptation for observing the environment at the water's surface. In addition, Tiktaaliks have strong jaws with sharp teeth that allow them to catch and eat prey effectively, suggesting that they are predators. Another unique feature is the movable neck. In most fish, the head and body are tightly connected, so the head cannot move freely from the body. However, the Tiktaalik has a neck that allows it to move the head independently of the body. These functions are not necessarily present, but are forms that support their life in their environment. Sedimentological interpretations of the formations where Tiktaaliks were found suggest that they lived in a meandering fluvial lowland in a subtropical to tropical climate belt. And with this kind of habitat, Tiktaaliks developed new mechanisms, head movements, respiration, and body support that allowed them to exploit shallow water and even subaerial habitats. This can be seen from their ribs, which have different functions than those required in deep water environments, where these structures help the Tiktaalik to support its body. Many of the special features in Tiktaaliks are related to changes in respiration or simply the respiratory system compared to the more primitive Sarcopterygians. Tiktaaliks represent a transitional form in the evolution from the use of pharyngeal and operculum pumps used by fish to buccal and costal pumping mechanisms used by tetrapods. Speaking of the respiratory system, like its sibling lungfish that still exists today, Tiktaalik also had gills, as well as the possibility of lungs. Although direct fossils of lungs have not been found, the body structures preserved in the fossils, such as expanded gular plates and strong brachial elements, show features of lungs as respiratory organs to inhale oxygen from the air. However, while Tiktaalik has been considered a key finding of tetrapod evolution, there are further findings that question Tiktaalik as a transitional fossil and provide new insights. What were these findings? In 2010, in a mine called Zashelmai located in Poland, Fossilized footprints were found that were about 18 to 20 million years older than Tiktaalik. These fossilized footprints consist of many tracks of different sizes and characteristics, as well as a large number of isolated tracks. Depending on the size of the animal, sedimentary conditions and movement patterns, some tracks have very clear details and may be original tracks. The tracks found in Poland show large tetrapods that exceeded 2 meters in length and lived in tidal zones to lagoons in environments along the southern coast of the Laurussia landmass, a landmass that formed during the late Silurian and Devon periods. The discovery of these tracks suggests that animals capable of walking existed much earlier than previously thought. This indicates that the evolutionary transition from fish to tetrapods may have occurred earlier and may have involved many other transitional species of various lineages that have yet to be discovered. So, does this mean that Tiktaalik is no longer considered a transitional fossil? With this discovery, we understand that evolution is a very complex and multi-layered process. But while the discovery of these Polish footprints has driven new insights, it doesn't completely undermine Tiktaalik's status as a transitional fossil. Why is that? Tiktaaliks remain important fossils that demonstrate transitional adaptations between fish and tetrapods. They may not be the only or even the earliest in the lineage leading to modern tetrapods. Still, Tiktaalik provides important knowledge about the physical adaptations that made it possible for vertebrates to first explore land. Just as Archaeopteryx did for the evolution of birds, while Tiktaaliks may not be the direct ancestors of today's living animals, they provide strong evidence for the existence of intermediate animals between very different types of vertebrates. That's all for this video. See you in the next video, and thank you.